What's up, fellow autism? Longtime viewers of the channel might know that I am a huge fan of the Tony Hawk series. It has played a crucial role in my life, my childhood, and my general interest in skateboarding and skateboarding-related media and video games and stuff like that. Now, we can all agree that seeing the series decline it felt like a stab in the back. And it sucks. But last year's release of Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2 gave us a huge breath of fresh air for the series and fans of the series and stuff like that. It is excellent, and I suggest everyone to pick it up and play it. But, you gotta pirate that shit, because, fuck Activision and fuck Bobby Kotick or whatever the fuck his name is. Fuck you. But does anyone remember the first time they tried to remake Pro Skater 1 and 2? Now, I'm sure that everyone wants to forget Pro Skater HD, but is it really as bad as everyone says? Let's find out. The Tony Hawk series debuted in 1999 with the release of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. The controls, the soundtrack, the gameplay, everything felt so good compared to the other skateboarding games released at the time. The sequel, released the next year, improved the core design of the first game, adding tons of new tricks like the manual, and new features like Create a Park and Create a Skater. It all went smoothly from there with subsequent releases, with Tony Hawk 3 adding the revert, Pro Skater 4 adding the spine transfer and removing the 2-minute timer, Tony Hawk's Underground adding walking to the game, Tony Hawk's Underground 2 adding Jackass to the game. However, after the release of Tony Hawk's American Wasteland in 2005, the series wasn't all that financially successful. Now, don't get me wrong, American Wasteland, Project 8, and Proving Ground were great games, but they weren't financially doing so hot, and with the release of EA Skate in 2007, that kind of put that nail in the coffin for the Tony Hawk franchise. However, when 2009 and 10 came around, it made it so much worse for the franchise. Tony Hawk Ride and Tony Hawk Shred were released respectively to overwhelmingly negative reviews and piss-poor sales. The new developers, Robomoto, were just that, new. Founded in 2008 by former Midway employees, they were signed on to replace Neversoft as the developer of the franchise, after Neversoft stopped development of the series to work on other Activision properties like Guitar Hero. With the success of Guitar Hero and its plastic guitar, Activision wanted to bring that gimmick to the Tony Hawk series with a huge, bulky, $120 doorstop. A little bit of correction on the Ride experiment thing. The Ride and Shred experiment was not the idea of Activision's, it was the idea of the cockman himself. I found an old interview with Tony, and it says, everything is wireless now, and a lot of it is motion controlled. And I said to Activision, I think it's time to do a skateboard that you can stand on. That was your idea? That was my idea, yeah. Tony, you tried. That's all that matters. Okay, back to the video. Tony Hawk Ride and Shred was terrible, with the main complaint being the required board controller. The games just didn't work. The controller didn't work. It was poor. It was unresponsive. It was absolutely terrible. And due to the financial and critical failure of both games, Activision put the series on hold for 2011, marking the first year without a yearly Tony Hawk game. However, at the 2011 Spike Video Game Awards, Tony Hawk took the stage to announce something big, huge, and revolutionary. The Amazing Spider-Man video game. Alright. Wikipedia kind of trolled me a little in saying that it was announced during the Spike VGAs, when in reality it was announced during the pre-show. Thank you, Wikipedia, for being a great, accurate source of information. Oh yeah, on an unrelated note, they actually announced Fortnite at the 2011 VGAs. Anyway, at the pre-show, they announced Tony Hawk Pro Skater HD, a quote-unquote remake of Pro Skater 1 and 2. And looking at the trailer, I don't know, it just looked really weird and wonky and kind of off in a way. I'm pretty sure you can't do half the stuff featured in this trailer. Anyway, Tony Hawk Pro Skater HD launched on the Xbox 360 on July 18th, 2012 to mixed-ish reception. X-Play gave it a 4.5. Are you fucking serious?
Tony Hawk's Pro Skater HD gets 4.5 bone fractures out of 5.
The game is pretty much hated by the community for completely understandable reasons, which we will get to in the video. Anyway, I'm going to be playing on the PC version because, of course, PC version. So strap in, strap on, let's see how good this game is. Woo! So the game starts out with a boring slideshow of generic company logos. That's right, there's no hype intro, there's no cool logo animations, it's just generic, boring bullshit. The menus don't look that great either, but I do like the board selection screen. You know what, more skateboard games need to have these types of board menus. Come on now. Also, I really like the celebratory, yeah, every time I changed a button mapping of a special trick. But menus schmenus, how's the gameplay? Well, it's not great. For a Tony Hawk game, it feels incredibly sluggish, slow, clunky, and it's not really that pleasant. I don't know what it is. It's just this slow, molasses, sticky, laggy feeling to it. It just doesn't feel like a Tony Hawk game at all. If Robomoto said that this felt like a Tony Hawk game, they're lying out of their ass. So how about the game modes? Well, let's see. We got career mode, which is your classic 2-minute timer, get as many goals as you can before time runs out type shit. With the Tony Hawk 1 levels, they added some more goals because originally it was 5 goals a level in Pro Skater 1, and they're fine, you know, they get the job done. Oh yeah, and speaking of levels, they don't have every single level from Pro Skater 1 and 2, unfortunately. So returning from Pro Skater 1, we have the warehouse, the mall, and downhill jam. Returning from Pro Skater 2, the school 2, hangar, Venice, and Marseille. Like, they couldn't fill half of that roster with levels from Pro Skater 1. They had 3 Pro Skater 1 levels and 4 Pro Skater 2 levels. And what's worse is that every single level was reused in an earlier game. Where is San Francisco, which is probably one of the best Tony Hawk levels ever? Minneapolis, Chicago, School 1 doesn't exist. And with Tony 2, what happened to Skate Street? I love that level. But regardless of the missing levels, the game still looks pretty nice. I'm not a huge fan of the sunset smog shit that Venice has, but otherwise, everything looks pretty good. Textures look fine, character models look fine-ish. Overall, the game looks fine. Animations are really rough though. I'm pretty sure they reused the animations from Ride and Shred, and they don't really look that great. Oh yeah, bailing. Instead of picking yourself up like a badass in the older Tony Hawk games, you just kind of fall limp and then a flash of white screen happens. Back to the career mode. Playing through, there's something missing. Wait, there's no competition levels? What? Yeah, Robomoto had the bright idea to not include any competition levels. Why? I have no idea. Marseille is now a 10-goal level instead of a competition level like it's supposed to. What was Robomoto thinking? When you beat career mode, you unlock Pro Skater 1 Tony. That's not Pro Skater 1 Tony. What? That just looks like a shittier version of Tony 2 Tony. So our next game mode is Hawkman. This is a returning mode from Proving Ground. You gotta collect pellets by grinding, manualing, being in the air, and wall riding. The mode is fine, but it can get really annoying when you're not able to collect the pellet even though you're in the same area as the pellet and do the same thing that the pellet requests you to do. It's really annoying. Alright, next up is Big Head mode. Probably, in my opinion, one of the most annoying modes in the game. Now, the concept is simple. Your head is slowly growing. Do a lot of tricks to lower your head growth. Don't get that meter to 100% or this will happen. And of course, your skater will proudly stand up without a head like every other normal human being does. Now, our last game mode is Projectives. Instead of the usual 10 goals, we have 5 goals that are considerably harder than the original goals, plus a shortened timer with 1 minute instead of 2. Unfortunately, this mode falls flat on its face when you realize it's the same 5 goals for every level. We have the sickest score, collect the combo letters, which is basically like collecting the skate letters, although you have to get them in a single combo. Collect 8 skateboards, land a big combo, and boneless the magic bum 3 times. You know, Robomoto could have done more with this mode. We could have got some pretty challenging goals, but these are just the same 5 goals in every single level, and it gets so tedious. Now that we got the levels and game modes out of the way, let's talk about some other stuff. Pro Skater HD is missing a ton of features that made the series stand out when it was young. There is no Create a Skater, there is no Create a Park, there is no split-screen multiplayer, half the soundtrack is missing. Yes, there is no Guerrilla Radio in Pro Skater HD, which was a huge mistake. Oh, and on to the multiplayer. As I said, there is no local split screen, which is a huge mistake. Having a buddy over and playing Tony Hawk is such a great feeling. It is so damn fun, and it's terrible that there's no local multiplayer. And online multiplayer. There is online multiplayer, however, online multiplayer is a console exclusive. PC players were snuffed out. Why? I have no idea. All in all, Pro Skater HD is a huge disappointment. Compared to the earlier games of the Tony Hawk series, they're not great. It's sluggish, it's slow, it's wonky. Physics don't feel right. Oh, I forgot about the balance system. they fucked up the balance system. So basically, in the older Tony Hawk games, the balance meter will kind of move a little bit every time you do a new manual or a grind or whatever. In Pro Skater HD, it starts in the exact same position as you last left off, meaning if your balance is off to the side, you instantly bail whenever you do your trick again. Really annoying. So yeah, they fucked up the game. Broken physics, broken controls, broken gameplay. It's very mediocre. Is it bad? In my opinion, no, but it's not good either. As a Tony Hawk game, it's fine, but it doesn't feel like one. The earlier games just had this snappy, good feeling to it. Pro Skater HD in comparison is just that. At the end of the day, if I were to rate this game X playstyle, I would give it a 2 out of 5. But I'm not done yet. There was DLC. 3 levels from Pro Skater 3 were added to the game. Canada, Airport, and Los Angeles were added, as well as the revert. Yeah, you couldn't revert before the DLC dropped. Tony Hawk without the revert is like playing Pro Skater 1. Doesn't age well at all. These levels look great, don't get me wrong, but there is one huge flaw that Robomoto for some reason brought back from Pro Skater 2 that made these levels just so much more bullshit. The big drop. Basically, in Pro Skater 2, Neversoft had the great idea to add the big drop, a bullshit mechanic that makes you bail whenever you land from high areas. That is, unless you hold the ollie button before you land. The issue is that this big drop mechanic is also in the Pro Skater 1 levels and Pro Skater 3 levels that weren't designed for the big drop. There was really no reason to bring back the big drop, like, at all. Oh, and another thing, Robomoto just squeezed out the life of these levels. There are no pedestrians and no energy or personality in these levels. In Canada, these few peds are the only pedestrians in the entire game. And all they do is clap and stare directly into your soul. I mean, it's fun to actually knock them over, though. That's actually kind of funny. And you know what's also pretty shitty? The career mode. Instead of reusing the goals from Pro Skater 3, they made entirely new goals. The only goals that I can remember returning from Pro Skater 3 are nose grind around the horn in Canada, visit 10 countries from the airport, and start the earthquake and free balling in Los Angeles. Why they didn't decide to reuse all the goals from Pro Skater 3 is beyond me. For better or for worse, the game was removed from digital storefronts in 2017, presumably due to licensing. Should you play this game? Well, that is a tough question because if you're a fan of the Tony Hawk series and want to play every single game, it's a no-brainer. If you're a fan of the Tony Hawk series and wonder what HD is like, don't. And if you're new to the franchise, don't. You will not have a great time at all. Seriously. Although it's really fun to glitch out the bailing because I love launching in the air and shit like that. That's about it. I hope you enjoyed this different ENunn gaming video. If you did, like this video, and if you are new to the channel, subscribe and hit the bell to not miss anything. I'm sorry I haven't posted these past few months. I know there hasn't really been a video of me just talking directly and stuff like that that was shot recently. That wasn't a stream. But life has taken kind of an upward spiral. I now have a job in television production, so this inconsistent upload schedule with ENunn Gaming will be a little bit more inconsistent. But thank you for bearing with me. I hope you enjoy this video. Hopefully more videos will be soon, and I'm still going to be streaming from time to time, so get excited for that. Seriously. Thank you for watching. I hope to see you soon. I'll see you in the next one, and have a good one. Bye.